My name is Jack McHenry, and this is my presentation on the development of Cork City. Cork in its present day has a large degree of urban sprawl. The majority of the people that work in the city centre commute from satellite towns, and the population of Cork is currently very dependent on the use of cars as its main form of transportation. Cork is rich with land areas that can be used to stimulate the growth of the city, such as the docklands and the port areas. The Irish government expects the growth of around 1 million people by the year 2040. Spatial planning becomes key to this growth now. The NDP states that there is an expected growth of between 50 to 60% within cities, which is greater than the 25 years previous to 2016. The NDP wants to develop cities that allows for people to reduce long-distance commuting. Cork City currently relies deeply on its commuter towns and its transport links. A huge proportion of Cork population commutes from the likes of Douglas, Ballincollig and Carrigaline. Road connections from these towns are quite good, but with an expected increase in the population, problems will start to occur. Families are reluctant to live in the city, hence increasing pressure on satellite towns. In the image we can see that the average age of the city is just over 39 years old, whereas in the county it's 37 years old. With a huge amount of Cork City households living in the county with a population of nearly 420,000 people, and with just around 50,000 houses within the Cork City people, with nearly 125,000 people living in this area, it's huge to see that the average person per household is actually higher in the county than in the city, hence why commuting from the county is much more common than living in the city. Cork City is beginning to build upwards, with the likes of the Elysian already being built, and plans to build along the port have also come into play. These plans have been hindered, although with the likes of heritage culture around the area becoming affected and traffic congestion also becoming a major problem. The port reconstruction is expected to cost around in the region of 100 million of the taxpayers' money. By building upwards, Cork City is able to provide more housing in a smaller land use area, which is key to spatial planning. By building upwards, the chance of interaction grows higher, and hopefully with this, the chances of innovation too. Large density growth needs to be monitored greatly, as slums and ghetto areas may also form due to overcrowding or even social problems in the area. With the growth in the port area of Cork, we need to make sure that traffic congestion problems around the area are kept low with the influx of people. Managing the transport of Cork City in the future is key to growth. Expanding links from satellite towns around Cork City to allow for the reduction of cars on the road will reduce the amount of traffic congestion. The introduction of Cork Light Rail has been proposed, but the cost of 840 million would be a huge cost to the government and to the council. In this photo we can see the current proposal for the light rail plan, with a large amount of the rails going from commuter towns and leading to the likes of Kent Station and Parnell Bridge. They run along the likes of the Grand Parade and all the way out as far as Inishmore and Ballincollig, and also out to the Cork Airport, which connects to the main parts of the city as well as Mahon Point. The Cork City Light Rail is expected to cost in the region of 848 million, according to the Irish Examiner. Currently in Cork, land tax is not used, and land value tax is a progressive tax, in that a tax burden falls on title holders in proportion to the value of locations, the ownership of which is highly correlated with an overall wealth and income. The use of land value tax puts an onus on the landowners to pay tax on the land rather than a regressive tax on their property. This would mean that the likes of property would hence be kept up to date and not as regressive as would be with just a property tax. Innovation is currently a huge topic within Cork City. Currently, Cork offers wide variance of innovation resources such as UCC, CIT and the Tyndall Institute, and many secondary schools for education. The continued and increased support for these institutes will allow for further innovation growth. The NDP hopes to bring back life and jobs in the cities of Ireland. In conclusion, the growth of Cork City is inevitable. The structures need to be put in place for this to be done successfully. The density growth of people and the cultures in Cork can only be a positive output on innovation, as the region is being filled with more and more mines and the resources in place to allow growth in the region to prosper.